Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is What If Ned Stark went with his daughters, instead of trying to go back in Season 1. Before we begin, no, the Game of Thrones to 10 seasons What Ifs aren't cancelled, just delayed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let's begin. In Season 1, Renly fled in the middle of the night after Ned refused him, and I'm gonna say, realizing that Littlefinger might betray him, Ned Stark goes on a ship to White Harbor with both his daughters. For the Lannisters and the Starks, this is the end of Joffrey and Sansa's betrothal, and it is formally broken, while Ned is dismissed as Hand and replaced with Tywin Lannister. Upon arriving at Winterfell, Ned calls his banners, declaring for Stannis and marching to war with Robb Stark and Theon Greyjoy with him, while leaving Sansa, Arya, Bran, and Rickon at Winterfell. Bran is Lord of Winterfell until Ned or Cat returns. When Ned gets to the twins, he makes the same agreement Robb does in the show, and afterwards Cat returns to Winterfell. I still think the Battle of the Whispering Woods goes the same way as it does in the show with Jaime being captured. However, the huge change here is that Ned Stark, who knew the truth about Jaime and Cersei, is going to execute Jaime Lannister for his crimes. Remember, Robb didn't execute Jaime because he didn't know the truth, plus a bargaining tool, but Ned knows the truth, and the Lannisters don't have hostages now, so at the end of the season, Ned Stark executes Jaime and leaves for Dragonstone to swear fealty to Stannis, while the Riverlands join the Starks and subsequently Stannis. In Season 2, Ned Stark swears fealty to Stannis, giving him the North and the Riverlands. Afterwards, Ned Stark returns to command the Second Northern Army, and unlike Robb, he won't free Theon Greyjoy, which means Catelyn, Sansa, Arya, Bran, and Rickon aren't captured at Winterfell, as it won't fall. However, Balon Greyjoy did say Winterfell will defy them for a year, so it's possible the Ironborn begin sieging Winterfell late in the year. Moving down south, marching on Harrenhal in order to get to King's Landing is the next priority. And this leads into a set of three battles. The Battle of Storm's End, where Stannis kills Renly. The Battle of Arkcross, which Robb defeats the Lannister army in the Westerlands, pretty much giving him a straight shot at Castle Rock. And the Battle of Harrenhal, which isn't really a battle, as Tywin flees before a battle occurs, so he can unite with the Tyrell army. This all culminates in the Battle of Blackwater Bay, where, with the support of the North, Stannis wins the Battle of Blackwater Bay, while Tywin, Joffrey, Tommen, and Tyrion are all dead, while Cersei is likely taken captive. The Tyrells withdraw from the battle when they see it is lost. Cersei isn't executed yet, as Kevin Lannister and his sons, Martin and Willem, who are Robb's captives, still live. Anyway, to end the season, Stannis is crowned in King's Landing and appoints a small council. Ned as Hand of the King, Davos as Master of Ships, Melisandre as Master of Whisperers, and giving her charge to replace the Faith with the Red God, while Master of Coin and Grand Maester are filled with the relevant dudes. As for Littlefinger and Varys, both escape, as Littlefinger wasn't in King's Landing, so he goes to the Vale, and Varys implied he was going to sleep King's Landing if Stannis wins the battle, so he does. As a side note, Robb Stark doesn't marry Talisa. In Season 3, Littlefinger arrives at the Vale and he weds Lysa Arryn and Seeker, while Varys spends all season traveling east towards Daenerys Targaryen. Moving to Stannis, he makes Shireen, his daughter, Lady of Storm's End and Lady of Dragonstone and heir to the realm, ruling from Storm's End, while Stannis' wife serves as Castellan of Dragonstone. Stannis still has the threat of the Lannisters and Tyrells to deal with, well, in a surprising turn of events, Kevin Lannister comes in agreement with the Crown to swear fealty to Stannis, preserving the Lannisters in exchange for the release of his sons. The Crown agrees, and Kevin's sons are released, while Cersei is executed in King's Landing. Meanwhile, Stannis demands Mace Tyrell's head, and the Tyrells don't bend the knee to Stannis, and Stannis and Ned go to High Garden, and okay, it just started blowing everywhere, what the hell? While up north, after a year of siege, Winterfell falls. However, I do think Catelyn is strong enough to buy enough time for Osha and Hodor to get Sansa, Arya, Bran, and Rickon out of Winterfell. While Catelyn hates Jon, the wall is the safest place, and supposedly Benjen and Jon are supposedly both there. But after hearing about Winterfell, Robb marches north to recapture Winterfell, but did stop at the Twins, where he marries Rosalind Frey, and at the end of the season, he recaptures Mount Caelan. Meanwhile, down south, in a year's worth of fighting the Tyrells, they are defeated and captured. While Mace Tyrell is killed, Lars Tyrell is faced with a choice: executed or take the Black. He opts for the Black and begins his journey to the Wall. As for Olenna and Marjorie, they are both spared, and Marjorie becomes Lady of Highgarden, but she is married to a Florin, Stannis' wife's house. As for the Stark children, upon seeing Jon in a wildling's outfit, they split up. Bran goes north of the Wall, Arya escapes to follow Jon to the Wall, while Oshos escorts Sansa and Rickon to Last Hearth, the seat of House Umber. At the end of the season, the Ironborn inside Winterfell likely kill Catelyn while Ramsay takes Winterfell. Dorne also joins Stannis after killing Marcella. That ends Season 3. In Season 4, most of the Stark kids arrive at the destination with Sansa and Rickon arriving at Last Hearth. Arya gets a reunion with Jon at the Wall, while Bran, by the end of the season, gets to the cave. As for Robb Stark, after taking Moat Cailin, he retakes Tarn Square before marching on to Winterfell, where he reclaims Winterfell after Ramsay took it for the Starks. Also, Robb becomes a father as a son with Rosalind Frey is born, which, since Ned Stark is still alive, I don't know what it'll be called. Maybe Rickard, I'm not too sure. For Ramsay's action, he is made a Bolton by royal decree, moving down south. The Northern Army with Ned Stark returns home, while Ned himself stays in King's Landing. As a side note, Theon Greyjoy is still a ward serving Robb Stark in the north. Not much happens except for Stannis declaring war on the Iron Islands, and he has the support of the Stormlands, Riverlands, and most of the Reach. Stannis does take the Iron Islands, stripping the Greyjoys of the Iron Islands, and executing Balon and Yara Greyjoy. As a side note, Varys arrives in Meereen and enters the service of Daenerys, while Littlefinger and Lysa have a son, which, after getting a son, Littlefinger kills her. Moving to Loras Tyrell, he arrives at the Wall and takes the Black. And the Lord Commander debate after Robb smashes the Wildlings becomes between Jon and Loras. In Season 5 of 302 AC, the year starts off with Ned and Robb learning where Sansa, Arya, and Rickon ended up. Jon and Robb, of course, they reunite, and while Robb smashes Mance Rayder with the Wildlings at the Wall, later executing him, while the Wildlings remain there to help man the castles on the Wall. While at the Wall, Robb oversees the Lord Commander election, and he forces Jon Snow to be Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. While at the Wall, Robb sees Arya, and when he leaves, he brings Arya back with him. Winterfell also gets a letter from Last Hearth informing that Sansa and Rickon were there, and the whole gang is almost back together, with the exception of Bran. It's known he went north of the Wall, but no group sent by Robb or Jon are able to find him. Moving to the Vale, Littlefinger has Robb and Arryn killed, making his son with Lysa the new Lord of the Vale, effectively giving Littlefinger full control in the Vale. In King's Landing, the Faith uprise again thanks to Stannis and Melisandre, but they are firmly crushed out by Stannis. As a side note, Edmure Tully is wed to someone in the Riverlands, while Ned betroths Sansa to Ramsay as a thanks for Ramsay retaking Winterfell. I should also mention that Theon is made into new Lord of the Iron Islands. And yeah, at the end, Sansa and Rickon reunite with Arya and Robb. Reunion. In Season 6 or 303 AC, Euron Greyjoy takes the Iron Islands, crowns himself king by killing Theon, and although a threat to Stannis, he chooses to recover his own strength before invading. Otherwise, it's a year of weddings. Sansa is married to Ramsay, and Edmure Tully finds a wife for himself. However, Daenerys Targaryen looms large. After reclaiming Meereen, she is offered ships by Littlefinger and Euron Greyjoy to join forces. Both are marriage pacts, and Varys knows Littlefinger, so he persuades Daenerys to accept Euron Greyjoy's offer, and in response, Littlefinger makes an offer where he will join forces with Daenerys in exchange for being made Hand of the Queen, which Daenerys accepts, to Varys' dismay. In Season 7 or 304 AC is the Targaryen Rebellion, I'll go over the sides really quick. Daenerys has the support of the Iron Islands, Vale, Dorne, versus Stannis, who has the support of the Stormlands, Riverlands, and North, while the Reach is divided. The first battle is the fall of Dragonstone, where Daenerys captures Stannis' wife, which prompts Stannis to bring Shireen back to the Red Keep and go take back Dragonstone. In the Battle of Driftmark, both sides see a naval battle just outside Driftmark, where Stannis' fleet comes out on top. After the battle, Daenerys sends the Unsullied to go through the Vale before marching onto King's Landing. Robb Stark crosses the Twins with the North thanks to marrying Arya to a Frey son. Meanwhile, the Dothraki stay on Dragonstone to guard Daenerys, while Littlefinger This is an envoy to Castle Rock to get the support of the Lannisters, which they do, and basically they spend the whole war recruiting houses in the Reach. While this won't matter, as in the Battle of Dragonstone, Daenerys burns Stannis' fleet and Stannis himself, killing Stannis. Shireen is crowned at King's Landing, but it won't be for long, as now, by this point, a Lannister and a weak Lannister Tyrell army is surrounding them. The Unsullied are battling Robb Stark, and yeah, it's not looking too bleak. I mean, not looking too great. Yeah. And Daenerys burns down King's Landing next with Littlefinger's encouragement. After this, the young wolf ascends to King in the north before the second Battle of the Trident, where he defeats the Unsullied. In 305 AC, the Battle of Harrenhal, Robb Stark is ultimately captured after being surrounded by Dorne, Daenerys, and the Vale. Robb is ultimately executed, but when Daenerys gets back, she receives a letter from Sansa Stark, the new queen in the north, promising to bend the knee to Daenerys in exchange for her to come and defeat the White Walkers, since it was one of Robb's last wishes, while recognizing Robb's son as Lord of Winterfell and Sansa as Lady Regent of Winterfell. For Robb and Ned's bones to be returned. As should mention that Bran is back in Winterfell. Although Littlefinger tries to persuade her otherwise, Daenerys does accept this, and late in the year the White Walkers are defeated at the Wall, while Bran Stark falls and dies, with Theon Greyjoy dead, and Arya not really much of a fighter compared to what she became in the show. To end the year, Littlefinger is executed for his crimes after Varys or one of the Starks finally expose him. That is it for this What If, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this, please leave a like, share, or sub, and at 150 subs, I will finish the FNAF timeline. At 1k likes, I'll do a video on the life of Robert Baratheon, and at 150k views, I will do a video on the life of Catelyn Stark. But until then, bye!